Today, I'm going to show you how to create chocolate frog soap. This is a craft featured in my new book, The Wizard's Craftbook, and when I was deciding which one I wanted to show you guys, I thought about everything that's going on in the world right now, and with all of the emphasis on cleanliness and good hygiene, I thought what better way to add a little bit of magic to washing your hands than to show you guys how to create chocolate frog soap. The things we'll need to create our chocolate frog soap is the recipe from the Wizard's Craftbook, and this is featured on page 91. We will need 4 ounces of goat's milk melt and pour soap base, but you could use any soap base. I just like the goat's milk kind. We will need 1 ounce of cocoa butter. We'll need some glycerin, a tablespoon of cocoa powder, a heat-resistant glass container, and I like to use a Pyrex measuring cup. We will need a spoon for mixing. You could also use some chocolate fragrance oil if you feel like the scent from the cocoa butter and cocoa powder isn't enough, but truthfully, you really don't need it, but it will give you a stronger scent if that's what you're going for. You're going to need some alcohol in a small spray bottle, and then you're also going to use a mold. So I am using a chocolate frog mold, and this was one that came in a Geek Gear box actually. But once you use it for soap, you will only want to use it for soap or candle making. You never want to use it for food again, because sometimes little bits and parts, no matter how much you clean, will still be on there. So just know that once you use it for soap making, either continue to use it for just soap, or also you could use it for candles. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is take our 4 ounces of melt and pour soap base and our 1 ounce of cocoa butter, and we are going to melt it in the microwave on 30-second intervals, stirring in between each interval until it's completely melted. And we're going to do this in our heat-resistant Pyrex container. While we're melting our soap base, I'm going to go ahead and prepare our cocoa powder. So to do that, we are going to add a little bit of glycerin to it and mix it until it becomes a melted chocolate consistency. If we don't do that, the cocoa powder doesn't fully dissolve into our soap base, so we end up with an uneven color and some clumps in there. So this allows it to seamlessly be folded into our soap base. So like I said, we're going to start with just a little bit, and at first it's going to seem like the glycerin and the cocoa powder aren't combining at all, and it will act like it's resisting until it actually just all of a sudden like whoop, incorporates together and becomes a melted consistency. So just keep adding a drop or two at a time. Once you start to see it clump together, you're close. Just continue to mix, and as you can see, we get a melted chocolate consistency. Now that our soap base is melted, we're going to add a little bit of our fragrance oil. And mix that in. And then we're going to add our cocoa powder and glycerin mixture. And now we're ready to add it to our molds. And once our soap is mixed and ready, we're going to prepare our mold. And to do that, we're going to spritz our rubbing alcohol into the cavities. This will help air bubbles not to form, and it'll also help it release once it's all dry. And once we've spritzed our molds, we can then pour our soap into it. Once we have them all poured, just give it a slight tap. Because this will help any air bubbles that might be trapped in the bottom to come up, just like we do with chocolates. And then again, we're going to spritz the top of this with some of our rubbing alcohol to release any of those bubbles. And now we're going to let it sit and dry overnight. Now that these have sat overnight and hardened and cooled, we're going to go ahead and flip them over and release them from the mold. And as you can see, we get these adorable chocolate frog soap pieces. And there you have it, our chocolate frog soap that smells chocolatey and amazing, and it'll add a little bit of magic to you washing your hands. So like I said, this was featured in the Wizard's Craftbook, and I wanted to share it with you guys because of the condition the world is in right now, and washing our hands is so important that I felt like this might be a fun way to do it. So if you guys like this video, give me the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, and we will catch you guys later. Thanks so much.
Hogwarts, Hogwarts, Hoggy Woggy Hogwarts, teach us something.